All right. Thank you all so much for listening to our presentation. My name is Gracie Ramirez, and I'm an admissions counselor for diversity enrichment programs here at the University of Oklahoma. I'm really happy, that you guys are able to watch this presentation and learn a little bit about what we have here at OU. First, before I start my presentation, I will let the floor to one of my partners that I work with. Her name's Josie, and she will be talking about some of the programs that we have here that you can be a part of before you even start your freshman year at OU. So without further ado, I'm going to leave the floor to her, and then we'll get started.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hello, you all. I'm so excited to be here. I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the programs we have that are under my branch. My name is Josie Jones. I am a pre-college coordinator here at OU, which basically means I work with a few different projects that are before your college experience. And so I'm going to talk about a few different things that you can have basically for opportunities for you to get a head start on your college experience. So these are ways that you can kickstart your OU experience. You can get involved in a couple different things, and I'll kind of start talking about those now. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. Okay. So pre-college programs, like I said, starting your college experience sooner. So if you're interested in OU and really want to come here, or if you're not sure what you want to do and you want to get an idea of what OU has to offer, this is a great way for you to kind of get started with our campus. And so there's 3 different options. The first one is going to be concurrent enrollment. You may have heard of this before, but basically it's taking classes while in high school at the university level. And so we offer a really great concurrent enrollment program, and it's a great way for you to kind of get a feel for what campus has to offer you. You get one-on-one academic advising. So we're going to have you meet with someone who will talk you through the classes you can get involved in and walk you through each and every class that maybe you're going to need in your major or anything like that. You'll get dual credit, so it'll count in your high school and in your college credit. So any degree you go towards, it'll count for that. As well as at your high school. So you can kind of get some of those credits out of the way at the same time. You do get to learn from top academic programs. So you can get a feel for what a real college class is going to be like with real professors and a lot of support. And you get to take OU for a test drive. So as you guys are in kind of going into your college deciding process, this is a great way to get a feel for what OU has to offer and what your OU experience will look like. So you can consider online classes if you're interested in taking only online or in person. We have all kinds of different options for you. And so you can always visit our website or meet with one of our representatives to see what can I do with concurrent enrollment? What does it look like? We do take applicants for fall, summer, and spring. So you could start as early as this summer, starting getting credit and getting this credit out of the way. So that's kind of a cool thing with that. Additionally, so eligibility, this is a big question a lot of students have. So there's a couple ways you can do this. So you become eligible to apply the summer after your junior year. And so that summer is the first time, and then you get to take it during your junior and senior year. And you can take up to a certain amount of hours. So you could take 2 classes, 3 classes, however many work with your high school schedule as well. So we have a couple options for eligibility. You can get admitted by your ACT or SAT score with that 24 ACT or 1160 SAT score. Or if you don't quite have those scores, which, a lot of students might not their first time around taking their test, we can go with option 2, which is an unweighted GPA of 3.0. And the top 33.3% of your graduating class. So there's a few forms you would send in when you go to apply, but these are kind of something to keep in mind. If you haven't taken your ACT or anything like that, then we definitely want you to go ahead and get in and do that. And our applications are on a rolling deadline. So if you're looking at summer or fall right now, go ahead and start your application now, because we'd love to have you submit and kind of get through the process for that as well. So within the concurrent enrollment program, we do have a specific program called Student Discovery, which might be a really good option. If you're currently a sophomore or a junior, you can do this as early as this summer. Student Discovery is a program this summer from June 13th to July 9th. This summer it is virtual due to COVID-19, but we really have a great summer plan for our students. And like I said, it's for rising juniors and seniors, and you get to spend a month with us here at OU. Connecting with OU, you get leaders on campus. You'll be mentored by them. We'll have events going on, and you get 5 hours of college credit. So you'll get 3 of a general education course of your choosing, anything you want that you're interested in and fits with your major, as well as you'll get a university college course that is a academic prep course. So this course will hopefully prepare you for your college experience. It'll be about academic success. We'll visit all different colleges across campus, a lot of different things like that. And so if you're all interested in student discovery, I definitely say go ahead and check out our website. Go ahead and apply and think on it. If you're like, maybe I'll do it, we would love to have you this summer to kind of get connected at OU. And hopefully it's your first step in the door and you can get a feel for, is OU the place for me? So yeah, that's Student Discovery. And so if you are currently a senior, you cannot participate in Student Discovery this summer, but we do have a second option, which is called Start Sooner. Start Sooner will be July 11th through August 5th. It's both in person and online. So we do have a fully in-person option if you're like, I want to be on campus. I want to be right in the middle of everything, living in the residence halls. And this is a great option for you. You do have to be accepted into OU. And so if you're already sure you want to come to OU, this is a great way to get a head start in your experience. You basically get to come and spend a month during the month of July early at OU getting 6 hours of college credit. It's very similar to Student Discovery where you're going to get a gen ed as well as a university college course, and you'll get mentorship, you'll get weekly events, all kinds of ways to get connected before your school year even begins. So great way to get those credit out of the way. So these are just some of our programs. Gracie's going to go over a ton more information that will be helpful to you all as you guys are kind of walking into your college experience. But please, 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 if you have any questions at all about any of the programs I talked about, Concurrent Enrollment, Student Discovery, or Start Sooner, I'd love to connect with you. And so here's our contact information. That cell phone at the bottom does have texting as well. So if you have quick questions, take a picture of the screen or save the number, and we would be happy to work with you to answer any of your questions. Those applications are open right now. And so if you're at all interested, go ahead and apply and just see what happens. And that's pretty much the main of our programs. Like I said, I'll stick around. If you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. So I'm happy to answer those as we're transitioning to the next part. But otherwise, I'm going to transfer it back over to Gracie and she can kind of get started on talking a little bit more about your OU experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Josie. I appreciate your time. And yeah, if you guys have any questions for her, I know there's some people logged on. Does anybody have questions before we move on to the next presentation? And you guys could also utilize the chat room if you guys feel more comfortable in that way. So I'll give you a couple seconds to see if you guys have any questions. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'll get started on the next part. Thank you so much, Josie. And I'll get started on the next part. I'm going to be doing a presentation that has to do with anything that has to do with OU, with community, family, academics, admissions. Feel free to ask any questions throughout the presentation, and then I'll stay logged on as well at the end if you guys have any questions at the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and get started. Okay, all right, so if you guys see the University of Oklahoma slide, I hope you guys can see it. Okay, so this presentation is going to be about, like I said, anything that has to do with admissions, community, family, financial aid, anything of that sort. But I do want to introduce myself to you all. My name is Gracie Ramirez, and I work for diversity enrichment programs where we serve students from underrepresented communities, where we take care of bringing in diversity into the university, and we help students from different types of communities that might need, a little bit of extra help, or if you guys just feel more comfortable being part of a more diverse group. We do have 5 staff members within our program, and then we also have over 45 interns that help us out within the recruitment for diverse students. So you do definitely have a support system here if you feel like you're kind of like lost in this process of applying to college. Feel free to reach out to diversity enrichment programs. We'd love to help you in any way that we can, as long as we are helping you in higher education. That's all that really matters to us, and for you, to be able to accomplish your dream. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with a college admissions trivia. So basically, the first one says a high GPA and strong test scores are the only things that really matter in the college admissions decision. True or false? And this is going to be false, because a high GPA and strong test scores are not the only things that really matter. We're actually test optional for the next 5 years. So having a strong test score is not something that we're wanting to see anymore, only if that's something that you want to turn in. But if you are not going to turn in your test score, then we are going to be looking heavily at your unweighted GPA. And we do have an average of a 3.5 unweighted GPA. We're also going to be looking at your personal essay, your activities and involvement, and your letters of recommendation. If you are going to be turning in your test score, we do have an average of a 26 ACT. Some students are going to have lower, some students are going to have higher. Every student is different. Like I said, we look at everything in a holistic way. So we're looking at everything as a whole. And so just making sure, that you guys turn in strong applications that are really going to show, what type of student you are, and that are going to help us make the best decision as far as your admission. It is smart to reuse essays for multiple schools to save time. True or false? And this is going to be false, because a lot of students, what they do is that they end up using different um, different names for specific colleges. For example, if you say, I am so excited to attend the OU Price College of Business, that's only specifically for the University of Oklahoma, because that is what our business college is called. It's called Price. So if you were to turn that same essay into another school, then that wouldn't pertain to that school, right? So you just want to make sure that when you are doing your essays, if you're going to reuse it for another school, that you're going back to do those edits and not turning in those essays to the wrong school. Applying for early action, early decision can increase your chances of admission. True or false? And this is going to be true. Our application does go live every year on August 1st. So applying early action or early decision can increase your chances of admission, because whenever you are applying earlier, we don't have very many students accepted versus applying after February. We already kind of have a pool of students who are going to be committing to OU, and our pool is going to be smaller. So just kind of like making sure that that there is a difference between applying earlier and later, and making sure that you're caught up with the important dates and deadlines as far as the University of Oklahoma. If schools advertise tuition and fees are inclusive of all expenses students are likely to incur during college. True or false? And this is false, because whenever you look at what the university advertises, we're only counting for OE direct cost estimate. We're going to be promoting tuition, fees, housing, and tuitions, fees, housing, and books and supplies, right? But what about other things, right? A lot of you guys have cell phones; those are not going to be included, right, on our website. If you have a car, you're going to have to put gas in it, or you have to pay insurance. All of those indirect costs are not going to be promoted by us. So just making sure that whenever you are doing your calculations in financial aid, that you are counting all of those indirect costs that have nothing to do with the university, and just kind of like adding those up, and realizing how much money it is that you're going to need while you're here. College admission staff prefer that students get recommendation letters from principals or well-known teachers. True or false? And this is false. So whenever you're getting letters of recommendation, it does not only have to be from a principal or a well-known teacher. It could also be from people who are maybe like your manager, or it could be from your coach. It could be from a counselor. It could be a principal. Basically, anybody that knows what you have to bring to the table is who can write your letter of recommendation. So, um, yes, this is false. And then, did you know that college graduates earn 1 million more dollars than high school graduates over their lifetime? So when you're going through this admissions process, You always want to make sure that whatever schools it is that you want to apply to, that you know uh, how to achieve the academic success, like the requirements that that school that you're applying to is wanting from you. So let's say that you have a 3.3 and your goal is to get a 3.5 by your seventh semester. So just kind of like setting those goals and developing a plan for me, it kind of helps to write things down and so I could see them, and that way I know, you know, that I'm checking things off and just kind of like making sure that I do achieve that academic success that I want to achieve based on where I'm applying. So definitely developing a plan is very important. And then communication with anybody, either with your immediate family or I will call ourselves your sooner family, right? If you have any questions, communication is always going to be key, and definitely communicating with whatever it is that you need help with, any questions that you need answered. Uh, Communication will always be key. You always want to be well informed, and definitely find out what resources are out there for you. Always fill out a FAFSA, which I will be talking about later. And you also want to get to know your advocates. And whatever school it is that you're applying to, everybody has their own admissions counselor um, for whatever region you're from. So definitely getting to know your advocates for the institutions that you're applying to. Applying to the University of Oklahoma will mean that you have to apply, you could visit, you could explore, and then finally commit. So applying to the University of Oklahoma, like I said, there will be a holistic process. We are going to be, you know, if you turn in your score, we will be looking at your ACT, SAT, your GPA, your activities and involvement, your personal essay, and then letters of recommendation, which are optional. When you go to apply.ou.edu, there's going to be a freshman tab, and you're going to click on there. Once you open up your application, it's going to ask you very general information. The first is going to be um, your name, your last name, your birthday, your address, very general information. Where do you go to school? What classes are you taking this semester? Things like that. After that, you want to make sure that you have a close relationship with your counselor from high school, because they are the ones that are going to be turning in a transcript to the institutions that you're applying to. So make sure that you're staying in communication with them. Also, if you end up taking the ACT or SAT and you're going to be turning it in, making sure that before you take your test, you put the University of Oklahoma on there, so that way those scores are automatically sent to the university. If you don't do that, then you can have your counselor add your score to your transcript, or you can go onto the College Board website and pay a small fee for them to send over the ACT or SAT score to us. After that, there's going to be a personal essay, which is an average about a page. Personal essay is an opportunity for us to get to know you a little bit better in a personal way. Be unique, be creative, and make sure that you're putting effort into your personal essay. Aside from that, we have the freshman supplemental scholarship essays as well, and those are we do have a November 1st early action deadline where those you can turn those in early, so that you can have your financial package ready early on. But the last day to turn those essays in is going to be December 15th, and that's the same date every year. November 1st, early action deadline, December 15th, the final scholarship deadline for those essays. Letters of recommendation, you can turn it in up to three. You can turn in up to however many you want, but we'll only give you credit for three. So those are optional. However, I do recommend for you to turn in at least three. And then the application fee is going to be about $40. If you are an Oklahoma's Promise student, your application fee will be waived automatically. Um, or if you're like on a free reduced lunch, you could fill out the application fee waiver form, and then that will also be waived. Okay, so the important dates for the University of Oklahoma, the first one's going to be August 1st, which is when our application goes live at apply.ou.edu. Then we have October 1st, which is whenever FAFSA opens, which is a free application for federal student aid. Okay, that will be fafsa.ed.gov. So hopefully you all know what FAFSA is and are ready to. If you're a junior currently, this year is going to be the year for you to apply once you're a senior on October 1st. So making sure that you are aware that this application is super important. And then November 1st is our early action deadline that I was talking about for you to submit your application and turn in your freshman supplemental scholarship essays. And then our another deadline will be December 15th, which is the final scholarship deadline. Then we have an April 30th deadline, which is a test score submission deadline. So if you are a student that turns in a 23 ACT, but then you end up making, retake your test and then you end up making a 26, you have until April 30th to retake your test to see if you can score higher, and see if you can get more scholarship money based on merit. May 1st is a national enrollment commitment deadline. Any school that you apply to wants to know if you're going to be committing to their school by May 1st. We do open registration for students to start enrolling in their classes in February. So just kind of like making sure that you know that throughout this process, a lot of schools are opening up their registration around that time in February. So you don't want to wait until May to commit. And then some of the courses that you wanted are going to be filled. So just kind of like keeping those things in mind while you're going through this process. Okay, so visiting the University of Oklahoma, we do have virtual resources available. As of the pandemic last year around this time, we were working really hard for you to have virtual resources available online. So definitely check those out if you're a student that is far away from here and you would really like to have that OU experience virtually. You can also make sure to schedule a tour in person. Those are available Monday through Friday. We have them at 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. We also have Saturday tours once a month as well, if you are a student that would like to come on a weekend. This will give you an opportunity to meet with your admissions counselor. You can visit a academic college, visit the Student Financial Center, Student Life, and then definitely checking out what housing looks like when you live here on your freshman year. So exploring, so I think it's very important for us to cover the cost, the scholarships and financial aid, right? That's going to be one of the biggest components if you are going to decide that you want to come here. So let's go ahead and discuss about free money, earned money, and borrowed money. Free money will include any Pell Grant that you receive from your FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid that I was talking about earlier. That's going to open up on October 1st. And basically, what you have to do is that you have to turn in your parents' tax paperwork. If you work, you have to turn in your tax paperwork. And basically, what they do is that they sum up how much it is that you all make, and then determine a number that is the expected family contribution. So basically, they say this is how much the parents should contribute, this is how much the students should contribute to their education, and then it'll create a number called the expected family contribution, also known as an EFC. Once we have your EFC number, then we can determine how much is your unmet need. So how much money you still need to be able to cover the cost here at the university. So this is all going to be really important. And then as far as the direct cost estimate for the University of Oklahoma, tuition fees, room and board, and books, this is going to be an average about what it's going to cost. Definitely keeping in mind that we do have the merit scholarships that can help alleviate these costs. We also have other scholarships that have to do with the community, that have to do with diversity. So just be sure that you're reaching out to your admissions counselor to find out what those are. And then that can help out alleviating some of these costs. Having your FAFSA on file will help a lot. and make sure you have that on file so we can work with you. The more information you provide to us, the better we can help you. So definitely have that. If you're a student that has an opportunity to connect with your counselor, which hopefully you do from your high school, make sure that you're reaching out to them to see what other scholarships locally you can apply to. Um, and then they'll give you that information. I know we have our website. Um, OU website has a lot of different information on what other scholarships there are out there, either national or local, that you might be able to apply to. And the more local ones are going to be less competitive than the national ones. So be sure to be applying to any of the ones that you run into. But those are also going to be very important because that is free money that's going to follow you anywhere that you go, and money that you don't have to return. If you're an Oklahoma's Promise student, we used to have a partnership with Oklahoma's Promise called Students Promise. However, so Students Promise would promise a student that whatever Oklahoma's Promise would give you, the university would match up the money that the university would give you. Now, we're not only giving students however much Oklahoma's Promise gives them, we're actually giving even more. So it covers up to $8,000 in fees. So definitely, if you're an Oklahoma's Promise student, please make sure that you have your FAFSA on file before March of the next year of the year that you're going to be coming here, and that way you can benefit from both Oklahoma's Promise and Crimson Commitment. Exploring. Also, we have um, over 170 majors that you can benefit from. Okay. A lot of students think that they know what they want to major in. A lot of students come in, they choose a major and then they end up changing it 3 to 4 times. And then some students have no idea what they want to major in, which is completely normal. Okay, so we do have over 170 majors that you can benefit from. If you're a student that's having a hard time, make sure that you're going to ou.mymajors.com so that you can check out, um, so that you can do this survey that will match you up with the different majors that have to do with your interests and your talents. Um, Not only do we have over 170 majors that you can benefit from, our academic programs are also nationally ranked. One time I had a friend from Dubai, and he was here all the way from Dubai, and um, he was I actually asked him, I was like, out of all the places in the world, how did you end up in Norman? And he said, you know what, Gracie, I'm here in Norman because OU has one of the best petroleum engineering programs in the nation. And so at that point I realized that we were not only nationally recognized, we're also internationally recognized. We also have over 550 student organizations that students can benefit from. So definitely checking those out. This is going to be a great opportunity for students to network, which means networking means that you will be able to connect with different people that you might not be able to connect elsewhere, right? If you're a part of an organization and you meet an alumni that already has that job that you want to have, right? And then they might be able to help you with different tasks when you graduate or before graduation. That's called networking, okay? Making sure that you start getting to know different people that are going to connect you to other places that will help you get to where you want to be, okay? Not only that, this is a great opportunity for you to meet new people and have a lot of fun, for you to stay involved and have that college experience that you've always dreamed of. We also have multicultural student life, which is located in the Union within the Office of Student Life. So we do have different coordinators that take care of different types of communities. So if you're part of a community and you would like to be involved, definitely check out. There are different types of events that you can be involved in as an OU student with those communities. If you're a student that is not in a community and you would like to learn more about one, definitely checking them out as well. Student Life also has Greek Life as well. They have a Greek life coordinator. So just making sure that you check them out if that's something that you're interested in being a part of when you're here. We also have Oklahoma City that's only 30 minutes away from Norman, and our students do benefit from having Oklahoma City really close, because once they start doing their internships, they're only 30 minutes away, north of here, and it's super easy for them to have access to a bigger city. And Oklahoma City is a city that I've been living in since 2002, so I've really seen it evolve throughout the years. There's a lot of fun stuff like the Oklahoma City Dodgers, the Oklahoma City Thunder. We have the Civic Center Music Hall. A lot of fun stuff in Oklahoma City. Studying abroad is also an opportunity that we provide here for our students. Studying abroad is an opportunity for you to get college level courses done outside of Norman and outside of the country. So we do have over 80 countries and 200 cities across the world that we have partnerships with. If that's something that you want to be a part of when you're here. We do have OU study centers, one in Arezzo, Italy, and one in Puebla, Mexico. So if you wanted to study abroad in those study centers, you wouldn't have to pay more as if you were here in Norman. So definitely checking those out and seeing the scholarships that are available for those. Now that I have told you about everything that the University of Oklahoma has to offer, you always want, once you're admitted, you always want to ask the university, like, okay, you already know what I have to offer. So what do you have to offer me, right? And that has to do with financial aid, the things that we discussed. It has to do with the size, right? Like, is this somewhere that I see myself? Is this big? Is this small? Is this where I want to be? Is there enough diversity? Is there a counseling center that is going to assist me if I ever need it? Is there a clinic? Is there going to be anybody that's going to help me with a resume, right? So we do have a lot of resources for you to be successful once you're here. In order for you to be to get to that point, right? Everybody wants to get to that point of graduating, which is why you're here, right? So we want you all to have those resources available for you to be successful, for you to make your dreams come true. So always ask those questions. And then once you have all your answers, then you can make that decision and be confident enough to say that you will be committing to the university. Once you do get admitted, you will get a box in the mail that kind of looks like this. Inside the box, it will tell you information on the admissions process. If you're planning to commit, it will tell you information about your next steps. And definitely reaching out if you guys have any questions back to the Office of Admissions and Recruitment. If you're a student that has Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, make sure to follow us at Go to OU for you to be reminded of different events and different deadlines that we have going on. If you're a student that receives your box in the mail and you put it on your story and you tag at Go to OU and your page is not private, you do have high chances of being reposted by our Office of Admissions and Recruitment Communications team. And we also have takeovers by students every Thursday. So be sure to check that out as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing. I will, let me see if I can get to my slide. I do want you guys to have my email. That's probably gonna be the best way to reach me because right now we're rotating. Some days we're working from home, some days we're here. But definitely shooting an email and requesting a call will be also uh, good for us, to be able to connect via phone if that's what you would like. But definitely reach out if you guys have any questions. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and then I'm gonna leave it open for you all to ask any questions.